For more on this, let's bring in Florida Republican Congressman Jimmy Patronis, a member of the Small Business Committee. Congressman, welcome.
Hey, Mike, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. So do you expect a deal to fund the government through the end of the fiscal year, September 30th, when you're back in session in January? Right now, the House is only scheduled to be in session for 12 legislative days.
I hope so. So we have got multiple appropriations bills right now that are being finalized in the Senate that we have already sent over. There's 12 bills to fund the government. And as we've already done 3, we're going to see more and more of these opportunities to come back to the House, to send them to the president's desk, and eliminate those points of contention from funding the government. Now, granted, I think at the end of the day, it's going to be the health care policy that is ultimately going to be the biggest point of contention that we're going to have to iron out.
What do you see as the solution on health care? A lot of Republicans say that Obamacare has been, you don't want your constituents to suffer over a spike in health care premiums, right?
Well, the Obamacare product has been broken since day one. It has continued to be kicked down the road. And there's those of us that would like to try to fix it. Unfortunately, Mike, we're sitting on literally a 2-seat majority in the chamber. We have got to do something as we have inherited this. Look, I'd love to pull the plug on the whole entire program, but it's easier said than done. We simply don't have the votes to be able to pull that off. So we're going to have to come back. And I really like the idea that Rick Scott has championed over the Senate, where we are sending dollars to the policyholder and allowing them to shop for their solutions and allow the customer to go out and seek out what is the best policy for them, as opposed to just writing a blanket check to the insurance company, which then sets the rates. Let's go empower the consumer, not the insurance carrier.
Some on the left are already predicting another government shutdown in January after a 43-day shutdown.
Does see a pathway of getting us more and more of these funding bills back to the House that we can get them out. So now we're narrowing the scope of what is actually to be voted on to avert a government shutdown at the end of January. But look, Mike Johnson, Steve Scalise, Tom Emmer, they're all laser focused on making sure we keep our government open. Hell, I want our government open. You know, this last time it was shut down for 43 days, I didn't take a paycheck. Our military didn't get a paycheck. And I'm fine with that being the law of the land. If we're not doing our job, don't pay us. And this is an incentive to get Democrats motivated to put policies forward that make sense to keep our government operational.
Every member of the House is on the ballot in November. How critical is it for you, for constituents to feel the economy is improving?
Well, this is why it was so important that we passed the one big, beautiful bill as fast as to know this is going to be the law of the land. Takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. And this is where we reflect on the Trump tax cuts. And if you look at what January of 2020 was like, it was euphoric. It was the best economy our nation had ever seen. And this is what President Trump is aspiring to do. Get us back to that environment where we're empowering the consumer. They're keeping their money. They're spending their money. And I'm a big believer, when you give people back their money to invest in their small businesses, you know what they do? They spend it. They grow their business. They hire more people. And when they have to hire more people, they have to pay better wages. That is the nice, healthy, organic way to grow the economy. But we had 4 years of detriment done to this country under the Biden administration. That stuff's not going to repair itself overnight. This is why it was so important that we get these tax cuts in effect as soon as possible.
You're a Florida lawmaker. I'd like to ask you about what's happening right now in the great state of Florida, down at Mar-a-Lago, where you have President Trump and senior officials from his team meeting with top officials from President Zelensky.
So far from that meeting.
So, look, it's frustrating that Europe is talking out both sides of the mouth. At the same time, Europe is demanding that the United States engage to try to stop the Ukraine war, but they won't stop buying Putin's oil. At the same time, the United States has been asked to engage. I want concessions. Look, if we're going to help Ukraine fight off and to get to a stronger negotiating point with Russia, then you know what I want? I want concessions. I want collateral. I want our dollars being paid back to our United States taxpayers. I don't think Trump necessarily invited Zelensky, but Zelensky knows the only way to have a solution with Putin is to bring somebody like Trump to the table. And Trump is willing to. He's the most successful peace president we've had in the history of this country. And I think he would like to have that accomplishment as part of his history, but he knows that these two men sitting across from each other hate each other with more than anything else that's in their minds right now. So Trump trying to push back on Zelensky, having a call with Putin this morning in order to try to take Putin's temperature is the best thing to end this war. But you know what? The taxpayers of the United States do deserve some peace of mind that our dollars are going to be repaid back to its taxpayers.
President Trump made it clear he does not have a self-imposed deadline for a deal. He just wants an agreement. Are you hopeful there will be peace in Ukraine soon?
Need to step up their NATO participation to 4%. The only person that's not participating in that is Spain. So as Europe starts to realize, hey, we've got to play ball, that means we have to start funding our own protection efforts. This is what gets Trump back to the table as a responsible broker of peace. You know what? Just pay your bills, guys, and Trump will engage. He's the only person that can push back on Putin. I truly believe it, just as right now we have seen more prosperity and peace globally under this administration.
Well, and as you know, President Trump loves to make deals. I wonder if he will run out of patience with Putin if he feels like Putin is playing games.
Well, I think Trump will then start focusing on other domestic issues that he knows have to be dealt with. He is still making the rounds, telling people that fuel prices are at an all-time low, at least over the last 8 years. He has continued to remind people what the tax breaks are doing. And then he will get drawn in as those countries start pleading with him. Hell, look what happened in Egypt with the settlement between Israel and Hamas. Hell, you had every world leader drop everything and fly at a moment's notice to Egypt to show up because they wanted to be a part of that peace effort that took place there in Israel. This is no different. These world leaders want to be a part of seeing history being made, and they truly know the only person that can pull it off is Donald Trump.
Congressman Jimmy Patronis of the great state of Florida, thanks very much.
Happy New Year. See you, Mike. Take care.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe.
Just the like video and follow the subscribe.